Welcome, YouTube, to the biggest and best game show there ever was. I am standing here as the host of this proud channel and as the host to this pilot episode of the TV Trivia Test, the best and only game show that tests the knowledge of TV fans from all over the country. And today, my friends, we are joined by two channel regulars here with YouTube channels of their own. Our buddy Mike, back again from the channel Mike's Talks and Thoughts, and my brother Matt from Cartoon Lover Productions. Gentlemen, it has been far too long since we did another collab here. We had to get one out before the end of the summer. How are you guys this evening?
Doing good. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be some good trivia.
All right, so you guys are TV fans, of course. You have channels built around them, as is this channel, hosted by yours truly. And today I have set up a challenge that is really going to put these two to the test to see who has more TV knowledge. We have Mike here. Now, Mike, of the main four categories that we typically watch of TV, which are comedies, dramas, animated shows, and then reality stuff, game shows, which do you think is your strong suit here?
I would have to go with dramas here. I've seen like all the big dramas, Game of Thrones, The Wire, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, all of those, and just, I love dramas. I'm just, you know, that is my cup of tea right there. So that is definitely my strongest of those four categories.
All right, and Matt, same question to you.
You already know, man, animation, that's my forte, obviously. I mean, there's so many great shows, kid or adult shows, you know, there's so many great cartoons out there, so definitely gonna probably kick ass in that round, hopefully.
All right, well, yeah, we'll definitely be paying attention there to see how well you guys do. But for anyone watching at home here, here's how the game is played. So we have a total of 20 different questions based off of 4 different rounds with 5 questions apiece, all based on different TV genres. The first one will be sitcoms, second one will be TV dramas, third one will be animated shows, and the last one will be game shows and also a hodgepodge of the previous dramas. Each question is mostly going to be multiple choice. There are going to be some true, false, some matching in there, maybe even a couple specialty questions that we'll see throughout it, as well as bonus questions that you'll have a chance to answer if you get the main question correct. So it'll tie back into the main theme of that question. You can get extra points there. At the end of each round, we'll take a tally there, and then of course at the end of the game, we'll see who has the most points. And in addition to that, the winner here will also be awarded some TV-themed prizes here. We have 2 sets here for first prize and second prize here. Definitely something that you guys are gonna want to fight for there. Some really cool stuff that we will save till the end. All right, with that in mind, is there any last-minute stuff that you guys like to add before we jump into it?
No.
No.
Silence. All
I just
right.
want to get into the
You
zone.
can feel the tension, bro.
I want to get into the zone.
You can feel the tension here. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, shake hands here. Wish each other well. Good luck.
Good luck, man.
All right, let's get into it. So, gentlemen, here you go. You have your notepads ready. Here is the first question. Of these 4 Michael Schur comedies, which one includes the character of Leslie Knope? Is it A, The Office, B, Parks and Recreation, C, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or D, The Good Place? Once you have your answers locked in, we'll take a look. All right, you guys set?
Yep.
All right, let's see what you guys said.
I said B.
Parks and Rec.
Both said Parks and Rec, and of course that is the correct answer there. Played by the wonderful Amy Poehler there of the entire series, one of my favorites from Michael Schur. Let's continue on here with question number 2. Of these 4 African-American sitcoms, which is the only one to not be broadcast on NBC? Which one was not broadcast? Is it A, The Cosby Show, B, A Different World, C, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or D, Family Matters? Which one was not broadcast on NBC? Okay, let's see what you guys said here.
I said
Family
A.
Matters.
Ooh, we got 2 different answers. All right, this is interesting. All right, so for each time, I'm curious, I want to feel it out here. So Matt, we'll start with you. Said Family Matters. Do you feel confident in your answer?
Why? Because I think Cosby Show and Different World obviously are pretty much the same, you know, universe in that spectrum, because one's a spinoff of one. So those are probably on the same network, right? And I think they're on NBC. Fresh Prince, I believe, is on NBC, but I could be wrong. But Family Matters sounds about right.
Okay.
So that's
and Mike,
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I kind of just took a shot in the dark here. I'm not too familiar with the TV networks, but with my thing, I was like, The Cosby Show, you know, I was thinking maybe ABC, you know, back in the day, kind of my reasoning. You know, I'm a big Family Matters fan, but can't remember exactly what network, if it was NBC or not, but yeah. So.
Okay, well, you guys have good reasonings there, but only one of you has the correct answer. I will say, definitely wasn't Fresh Prince or A Different World. Those are definitely both on NBC. And as Matt said, A Different World was a spinoff of The Cosby Show, meaning that The Cosby Show as well was on NBC, so Matt gets the point here. Family Matters, it was famously as a part of ABC's TGIF lineup throughout most of its run, and then for its last season, it was on CBS for its final season there. So that means after 2 questions, Matt has a perfect score so far of 2, Mike at 1. Let's move on to our third question here, which is going to involve a specific show this time, one of my all-time favorites in the form of The Big Bang Theory. Now we know The Big Bang Theory has a wide variety of lovable, quirky characters with later additions like Amy and Bernadette that also made the show worthwhile to every sitcom fan. But here's my question to you guys. Of the main 5 Big Bang Theory characters, who's the only one to not appear in every episode? Is it A. Sheldon, B. Leonard, C. Penny, D. Howard, or E. Raj? Who's the only one to not appear in every episode?
Oh wait, no.
Okay. Yeah.
What was the 4th option?
It was Howard, was D.
Yeah, it was.
I think we kind of know where Matt's at it. All right, before you reveal your answers, I will say that this does have a bonus question attached to it. So if either one of you get it right, you'll have a chance to get the answer to that one and earn yourself more points. Let's see what you guys said here.
I said D. Howard.
Oh, you both have the same answer here. Interesting. Okay, so why do you think it's Howard,
So
Mike?
I think it's Howard
Because, you know, I've seen all of The Big Bang Theory, and I remember that he was in space for like a run in between, I think, season 5 and season 6. I'm thinking maybe there was an episode where they kind of take a break from, you know, because he's not with the rest of the group at that point. I think that he could have missed an episode or 2. I'm not totally sure, but just going off my gut instincts and where the plot was going in the show, that's my reasoning.
Okay, that's good logic. What about you,
So
Matt?
I
Have
was
you seen the entire show?
No, I have not. But I was originally gonna say Penny because I thought there was like only one female character at the start, and then I thought, wait, no, Penny's not Melissa Ranch. That's Kayla Cuoco. So I thought, yeah, it's not Penny. So I just thought, okay, it might be Howard then. I don't know.
Okay, well, it's interesting that you both went with Howard there because he is personally one of my favorite characters. He's definitely a fan favorite, but he was in every episode of the show. The correct answer actually was Penny. Matt would have had it right, yeah. So unfortunately, nobody gets points to that question and no one gets a chance at this bonus question, so we're just going to move right on to question number 4 here, which is going to take us to the past here for a little nostalgic hangout with the cast of iCarly here. Now, we know that iCarly, of course, is one of the biggest Nickelodeon shows of all time. It was one of the biggest sitcoms of the era. And when you take a look at the overall broadcast for Nickelodeon, it comes in as the highest rated live action show to ever have a broadcast episode, with the episode I Saved Your Life, which is actually, coincidentally, we were talking about that earlier, with a total of 11 million people on its lead broadcast, which was quite incredible. But what other Nickelodeon show comes in second place on that list behind iCarly as the biggest live action broadcast in the channel's history? Is it Drake and Josh, Victorious, Zoe 101, or does iCarly take up spots 1 and 2? So once again, we have A, Drake and Josh, B, Victorious, C, Zoe 101, or D, iCarly. Okay, interesting. Let's reveal what you guys have for this one.
So I put
I put
iCarly.
iCarly.
You both put iCarly. You did not get tricked here. It was indeed iCarly. Yeah. The second highest rated episode after that was I Go to Japan. No.
Okay.
Yeah. I Goodbye is up there. Yeah, that had 6 million. I Go to Japan had 8 million. And then second after that was Drake and Josh. There would have been runner up after that with their Merry Christmas Drake and Josh special. That was up there.
Yeah.
The highest rated Nickelodeon broadcast ever was actually Rugrats with the episode All Grown Up, which is their sort of lead in there. But for live action, iCarly there. All right, gentlemen, we have made it to the final question here of round one. Looking at the scores, Mike, you have 2 points, and Matt, you have 3 points, but still a very, very close game. For this last question, gentlemen, you have an opportunity to win yourself 5 points here if you get each of these items correct. I'm going to list 5 different items here, and then I'm going to give you an ordering method here. It could be based on some statistic, could be chronological, whatever, but then you'll need to rank them in a specific order. For each one you get in its correct spot, you'll earn yourself a point. So to start off here, I'm going to list you the 5 items. You can write them down, and then you can rearrange them based on the order. So here we go. We have Barney Stinson, Marshall Erickson, Robin Scherbatsky, Ted Mosby, Lily Aldrin, of course, and the question is, rank the main 5 How I Met Your Mother characters based on when they first speak in the pilot episode.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll give yourself some time here. Take as much time as you
So
need there.
first would be first spoken, and
First
5
spoken, yep.
is last.
Yep. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you here with this question?
I'm like a 6.
Okay. Yeah. 2. Ooh, not feeling strong.
I think I have
here.
1 right, but that's about it.
Okay. When's the last time you each saw this particular episode? Has it been a while?
Probably like over a year at
Okay.
least.
All right, you
A
Matt.
long ass time. I mean, I definitely have seen a pilot, but it's a long time ago when that episode was played on TV or we saw it together or something. So
All right. Well, let's
No
see what you
idea.
guys have here, and we'll compare answers. So, Matt, why don't you read off what you
So I
got?
said Ted first, Lily, Barney, then Robin, then Marshall.
All right.
No, I have no idea if that's
Pretty
correct.
spastic order there. And Mike, what about you here?
So I originally had Marshall then Ted, but I switched. I put Ted, then Marshall, Barney, Lily, and then Robin.
Okay, so we're going with your modified answer there, Ted first. All right, gentlemen, well, I'll have you grade yourself because I'm a good teacher and I trust you guys will not cheat here. But here is the order from top to bottom. So the first person to speak in the entire series is Ted Mosby in his older version when he's doing the narration there. Second is going to be Marshall Erickson when he does the proposal. Third is going to be Barney Stinson during the phone call. Fourth is, of course, Lily there when she comes home. And then the final person is going to be Robin there, the last person embedded in the group. So I think Mike got a perfect score here.
I have 2 correct.
And you got 2 correct. You got Ted and Barney there.
Yeah.
All right, so that shakes things up pretty early in the game here. Mike, a bit of a comeback here for the last question with a total of 7 points after the first round. Matt behind just a tad here with 5, but we still have plenty of game left. And now we are going into our second round, which is dedicated to TV dramas here. So as we established, Mike, this is your go-to here. So I'm expecting a big ups from you. But let's see what you got with this first question. So you know we have to do a question based on one of the biggest long-running TV dramas of all time, Law & Order Special Victims Unit, the single longest running drama of all time. And we know that Law & Order in general has what they call the rip from the headlines episodes, the episodes that are based in a real life story or crime or perhaps even a celebrity that they take inspiration from here. And there have been several of these throughout the show's history, but there's one in particular that's a bit of an urban legend as it was made, but it was never aired because it was so controversial. My question to you guys is, who of these controversial figures was that polarizing banned episode of SVU based around? Was it A, Donald Trump, B, Bill Cosby, C, Marilyn Manson, or D, Harvey Weinstein? So which of these figures was there an episode of SVU built around that was never shown because it was that controversial? Okay, let's see what you guys said for this one.
I said Harvey Weinstein.
Ooh, you both said Harvey Weinstein. Interesting. Matt, we'll start off with you this time. So, SVU fan?
Yeah,
or
I feel like
not really?
I've heard this from you before about this controversy. I don't remember exactly who it was, but Harvey Weinstein sounded like the most accurate one because I feel like Trump is just kind of too obvious, and then the other two are just whatever choices. So
okay.
Yeah,
And Mike,
so
what
for
about you?
me, I went with Harvey because I knew that, he's controversial. I feel like Trump and Cosby have been more controversial, like, in newer days. Like, I feel like this is something that maybe happened a little bit, like, before, maybe like 2020 times. So, That's why I picked Harvey Weinstein.
Interesting. Well, once again, you both have the same answer, but unfortunately, it is the wrong answer. Harvey Weinstein does have an episode built around him, as does everybody else, except for Donald Trump was the one that they built around. That was in 2016. They did it during the election cycle, and NBC kind of shied away from it. They didn't want to get sued and didn't want to get legal people involved, so they shelved it, never to be seen there. That was a tricky one, though, so let's move on to something a little more general for this next one. Which of these 4 TV dramas is the only one to not be based on a comic book? Is it A, Stumptown, B, The Walking Dead, C, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or D, Riverdale? Which one is not based on a comic book? This one also does have a bonus question attached, so if you get this right, you get a chance for extra points here. All right, you guys locked in here? All right, let's see what you said.
So
Riverdale.
I said Buffy.
I'm going with Buffy. All right, both of you here taking a bit of a different direction here. Mike, we'll start with you.
Yeah,
Buffy.
so I know for sure The Walking Dead is based off, of course, comic books here. Stumptown, I feel like I think I remember seeing that online, that it was based off of some source material as well. And I think I've heard the same for Riverdale as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't really know too much on Buffy, but I feel like I've never heard anyone talk about like a comic book series with Buffy, so...
Okay, so kind of deducing, process of elimination there. I see. And Matt, are you familiar with any of these shows?
No, pretty much the same thing that Mike said. I mean, Walking Dead, everyone knows. Stumptown, I think that's, I don't know, I've heard that somewhere maybe. And then the other two, I have no idea, honestly. You brought those two up, I'm like, oh, damn, that might be, it could be Buffy or...
So just taking a shot in the dark here.
Random.
All right, well, I will say one of you this time does have the correct answer here. So this will be interesting to see when we go into the bonus question. It is not Stumptown, that's for sure, even though that's probably the most obscure of all these shows. That definitely is based on one. And you guys definitely said that The Walking Dead, of course, that's the most famous of them all, and that's based on one. The person with the correct answer is Mike here. It was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There are comic books about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Those came afterwards when the show hit it big. So, Mike, going into this next one, you are the only person that will be answering this one. Okay. And this ties back into the main question. So, if Buffy is not based on a comic book, what is it based on? Is it A, a movie, B, a video game, C, action figures, or D, an old radio show? Which is it based on?
That's another good question.
Okay.
Okay, so we got solo one here. Mike, what'd you say?
So I said C, action figures. I was kind of stuck between
right, yeah.
C or D. I was thinking. I just think that I feel like I've seen those action figures like somewhere circulating. I don't know if they came like after the show or what, but like there's always memorabilia for shows like that. So that's, I guess, my reasoning for it.
Okay, well, it was a valiant attempt here, but unfortunately it is incorrect. The correct answer was a movie, in fact. Yeah, there was a 1992 movie that was called Buffy the Vampire Slayer that had similar characters, but it was very different. It was more of a rom-com, if anything else. It was written by Joss Whedon, who had then adapted it to a TV show. But there are, of course, video games and action figures based on Buffy because of how big the franchise inevitably was. So after all of that, Mike, you earned yourself a point there, bringing your total up to 8. Matt's still at 5 here. Going into question number 3, which is going to be our first true or false question for the game. And this one is going to revolve around arguably the best TV show of all time, The Sopranos. I know you guys are big fans of this one, so this should be a fun one. Is it true or false that the episode Pine Barrens took twice as long to film as a standard episode of The Sopranos because of the travel time between the woods and the studio? Is it true or false that it took twice as long to film? All right, you guys got locked in?
Yeah.
Or are you still debating? Locked in?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what you said.
I said true.
False.
Interesting.
So-
Okay, so we'll start with Matt here. So have you seen all The Sopranos?
Yeah, I've definitely seen Pine Barrens before. I mean, I feel like that episode, you know, there's, you know, some stuff, you know, in the woods. I feel like they could have just shot all that in, you know, one take, and then everything before that, you know, obviously was in different spots. But I don't know, that doesn't seem right. That it would take that long to make. I don't know.
All right. And
Yeah,
Mike,
so kind of just shooting a shot again. I know a lot about that episode if we were to ask something like about that specific episode, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really know too much about the filming and how long it took, so I just figured, you know, if the question's being asked, something had to spark here, so.
Okay, well, I like that reasoning here, and I like the fact that, again, we're guaranteed at least 1 point here for one of you because it's true or false, of course. And that person this time is actually Matt had it right. It was false. I just made all that up for the game, but I'm glad I was able to convince you based on the detail there. So that's cool. All right, so that brings Matt up to a total of 6 points here. We are on question number 4 of the drama round. And this one, of course, we're going to the other main drama that is arguably the best drama of all time, Breaking Bad, of course. Huge Breaking Bad fans we all are here. And this one, of course, we know Breaking Bad is an Emmy powerhouse, and it's won many, many awards throughout its win, and specifically for the acting category, it's won several different trophies for the great performances of its cast. So the question that I have for you is, which Breaking Bad actor of these has won the most amount of Emmys for his work on the show? Is it A, Giancarlo Esposito, B, Jonathan Banks, C, Bob Odenkirk, D, Dean Norris, E, 2 or more of these men tie for the top spot, or F, it's a trick question, none of them have won an Emmy for Breaking Bad. So there's a lot to go over. So once again, we'll repeat that. We have A, Giancarlo, Jonathan Banks, Bob Odenkirk, Dean Norris, 2 or more tie, or F, nobody has won. I'll give you some time to think about it. Okay, how do you guys feel about this one in general for Breaking Bad?
Total shot in the dark here.
Total shot. How about you? You feeling? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see your answers
So
here.
I put F.
2 or more.
I put trick question, none of them, because I know for a fact Bryan Cranston's won an Emmy, and I'm pretty sure Aaron Paul has, but I don't know if any of those other ones have. I know Better Call Saul has been snubbed on like all its Emmy nominations here, so, but not sure.
But you don't think, even though these guys are super popular and of course their characters super well developed, you don't think they had enough in the tank to win? Okay. And Matt thinks the opposite. He thinks 2 or more.
Be.
So.
I mean, Breaking Bad is just so huge. And I feel like, you know, even though we've talked before about how the show probably gained a lot of cult after it aired and everything, I feel like it was still a huge deal in its heyday. And I feel like some of those guys are amazing, obviously, and they should win Emmys anyway. I mean, they're all great, so.
Well, you said 2, so of the ones listed, who do you
Dean
think?
Norris and Odenkirk, maybe, I don't know.
Okay, well, that's a good guess. Well, once again, one of you does have the correct answer, and this time we are going back over to this side. It is Mike here. It was a trick question. Nobody's won, and you took my notes right out of here. It was Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston have won, and as well Anna Gunn also won for actress, but nobody else of this cast has, which was pretty surprising when I looked it up. So, Mike, that brings you up to 9 points here. We have one last question here for the drama category, and this one, once again, is going to be worth extra points here. You have a chance to potentially earn 6 points here for this one. Now, this is going to be completely different than what we've done so far. This is what I'm calling a quote challenge. We have in front of me a transcript of one of the best TV scenes in all of the medium. Once again, from Breaking Bad. This time, the episode Cornered, season 4, episode 6, probably one of the most famous scenes of the entire show. What I'm going to have you guys do is when I signal to you, you give me the next line in the script. You're going to say it out loud. If you can get it perfectly word for word, I'll give you 3 points. If you get some of it, I'll give you a single point. If you completely freeze, you get nothing. If that happens to you, then your opponent gets a chance to quote it, and if they get both, miraculously, then you'll get 6 points total. I'm going to do one for each of you. I'm going to do Mike first and then Matt. And there you go. All right, you guys ready? All right, I'm no Bryan Cranston, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Okay? Who are you talking to right now? Who is it you think you see? Do you know how much I make a year? I mean, even if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work?
Disappear, belly up. A company so big it'd be listed on the NASDAQ.
It ceases to exist without me. No, you clearly don't know who you're talking to. So let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger.
No
Can-
fucking idea. Yeah.
Can I
Nothing? You can
A
steal.
guy opens his door and he gets shot, and you think that of me? I am the one who knocks.
Well done. We should give Mike an Emmy here. Yeah. It was a little rocky, but you got most of it. I'm going to give you the full 6 points. I think you earned it, my friend. So, Mike, that gives you a big lead up there. 15 points at the end of the second round. Matt, way behind here with only 6. Definitely had a struggle that round there. You couldn't remember the last line?
I didn't even know what episode. I thought it was the Say My Name episode. I didn't even know what episode.
Oh, Say My Name is good.
It's
Yeah,
the-
cornered. That's...
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
the
makes
scene
sense.
where they're just in the
Right,
bedroom,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that's one of my favorite, monologues in the whole show. Bryan Cranston, well done, my friend. Got to give it up. But Matt, not to worry, because we are going into what you said was your strongest category with animated shows. So we'll see how this balances out. We're going to start off with a question about Beavis and Butthead. You know we had to work in some music-related stuff here, and this one is super straightforward. What 2 bands are represented on Beavis and Butthead shirts throughout the show? Is it A, Led Zeppelin and Pantera, B, Aerosmith and Iron Maiden, C, Rat and Slayer, or D, AC/DC and Metallica? Yeah, we got it. All
I
right,
didn't
go
even need
ahead.
the choices.
Yeah.
AC/DC
Yeah,
and Metallica.
there you go. We already knew it. You guys nailed it. All right, moving on to our second question here. Now this one, we're going back to Nickelodeon here, but instead of doing live action, of course, we're gonna take a stab at their animated lineup. Now this was a big day in Nickelodeon history. August 11th, 1991. Massive day for the channel as it premiered 3 of its most successful cartoons, all on the same day. That would be generation defining for the 90s. So the shows in question, Matt's already, he doesn't even need the choices. We have Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, and then what other show premiered alongside them? Was it A, Real Monsters, B, Rocko's Modern Life, C, Doug, or D, Hey Arnold? Matt looks focused here, like he's plotting something. He's looking for this comeback. This is his chance to strike. Mike, you look a little unsure, but we'll see here. So go ahead, reveal your answers.
I put C, Doug.
Okay, Matt, what did you say?
But Doug as well.
Okay, yeah, you just had them all listed. You guys are both correct here. It was indeed Doug, which in my opinion is a little overrated, personally.
That show sucks. That show's horrible.
Matt, I'm taking 3 points away from you.
Fuck you.
No, go ahead. Do you want to speak on it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Doug is dated as all hell. I mean, amongst those 3, those aren't like the 3 best, but, you know, considering that a lot of shows have been influenced by them, it's all good, but easily Rugrats #1. Ren and Stimpy, not that great either, but I can see the influence behind it because a lot of the hidden adult jokes and whatnot. Doug is just not good now. I mean, it's so fucking dated, bro. You watch it now, it's just, it seems weird in retrospect. They try to do all this like slang in the 90s that seemed cool, and it doesn't work. So.
Product of its time.
Exactly, yeah.
That's fair.
Good show.
Hey, but you knew it enough to get the question right. So.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, you guys ready for your next question here? Now this is one of my favorite traditions in all of TV, the Super Bowl lead-out show. Of course, many iconic shows have been the final or the next show to air after the big events of the Super Bowl. But which Fox adult cartoon is the only example to have 2 different episodes air following the Super Bowl in different years? Was it A, American Dad, B, King of the Hill, C, The Simpsons, or D, Family Guy? Let's see.
So these were after the Super Bowl.
Yep, which is the only example to have 2 different ones happen.
Okay.
All right, you guys confident here? How you feeling this one?
Yep.
Matt feels
I don't know.
confident.
I'm not too sure, to be honest, either, but We're gonna see in a minute. Here.
All right, well, let's see what you guys said.
So I said D.
Family Guy.
Oh, you both said D here. Okay, so Family Guy. So, Matt, why do you think Family Guy?
So, as far as I know, I think all of those premiered, except maybe King of the Hill, I'm not sure. But I know American Dad and Family Guy did for sure. I feel like if Family Guy did have two, I should know what 2 episodes there, but I don't. So, I don't know if I'm getting this one right or not, but I'm just taking a guess because that's the biggest show of all of them.
Okay.
Really.
So I originally put C, The Simpsons, because, you know, that's like the first one that comes up in the animation domination usually. And I would think, you know, they do the Super Bowl and then, you know, just run the lineup at that point. But I'm like, well, the Super Bowl usually doesn't get over until around like 9:30, and that's usually when Family Guy's coming on around that time. So I'm like, maybe they just cut out all 8 o'clock, 8:30, and slid right into the Family Guy slot there.
Okay, well, that is very interesting thinking. I like where both of your heads are at. But once again here, we have another example of both of you picking the right answer and it being incorrect, unfortunately. And Mike, you're going to be kicking yourself. It was The Simpsons, man. Yeah, I should have went with a gut instinct. The Simpsons did air twice after the Super Bowl. The first one was after Super Bowl 33. It was the episode Sunday, Cruddy Sunday from season 12. And then later during Super Bowl 39, which was Homer and Ned's Hail Mary Pass. I've never even heard of these episodes, so that's probably why they linked them after the Super Bowl, forgettable ones. American Dad and Family Guy have also aired afterwards, but King of the Hill has never aired after the Super Bowl, interestingly enough. All right, moving on to our fourth question here. This is another true or false question. And this one, Matt is dressed for the occasion because we got an episode dedicated to the men over at South Park, man. Great, great show. And we know that South Park always tries to push the envelope and do wacky, crazy stunts with their shows. They always have the system where they produce an episode within a week. So it's very timely, relevant stuff. And recently there's been a lot of discussion about AI and how it's used in help building and writing TV episodes. So my question for you is it true or false that South Park now, during its most recent season, has an episode credited to ChatGPT as one of its writers? Matt's writing a novel, so... But Matt is the South Park expert here, so we'll start with him. What'd you say, Matt?
Yes,
oh!
Basically, yes, but I wrote the episode, of course, in the season.
But he knows the whole lore to it. Mike,
I think I fumbled this. I said false. I didn't think they had done it yet. I've heard rumors, but...
They didn't do it. But Matt, yeah, take it away. So, do you want to explain what they did for it?
Yeah, that was a great episode, by the way. Yeah, they did use the chat thingamabob to make an episode of that basically just mentioned the whole episode too, which was really cool. So that was a good episode.
Yep, and that was of course true there. Deep Learning was the episode title, right? So, but one you'd recommend to everybody?
Yeah,
check out.
Recent comeback.
There you go. All right, we are on our fifth question here. Again, the final question for our third round here. Now this one, we are going to do a matching question here. And again, I'm gonna give you 5 different items to list, and then I'm gonna give you another 5 items. Gotta match it up here, and for each one you get right, you earn yourself a point, meaning you can get up to 5 points here. This time we are going to match different TV shows, different cartoons, with the networks that they came from. We had a question earlier like this, so we'll see how you guys do this time. So the 5 shows that you have to rank, you wanna write these down. We got A, The Emperor's New School, B, Turbo Dogs, C, As Told by Ginger, we got D, Cow and Chicken, and we got Wild Kratts to finish out here. And you can probably see where this is going, but the main 5 kids networks that air cartoons, you gotta match them up with, are Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, PBS Kids, and Cubo. So go ahead, take your time here, and at the end we will see how you guys fare. All right, so you guys are set here, locked in. Matt, you finished really quickly. You did the classic, let's slam down the answer so that, you know, you can signify you're done early. So Matt, why don't you start? How did you...
So first one, Emperor's New Groove, or New School, Disney, Turbo Dogs, Cuba. I have no idea what that show was. It Told by Ginger Nick. Was it Cartoon Network one, Cow and Chicken, and then Wild Kratts was PBS Kids.
Okay. And how did you do?
So I did The Emperor's New School, Disney, Turbo Dogs, PBS.
No idea what that is.
As Told by Ginger, Cubo, Cow and Chicken. I did Cartoon Network, and then Wild Kratts, Nickelodeon.
Okay, so a couple different answers in there, but a couple that you linked up on. Once again, I have you guys grade your own, and we'll go through it. So the first one was Emperor's New School. That is on Disney Channel. That was one of the most popular when we were growing up. Next up, we have Nickelodeon here. That was As Told by Ginger. It's a classic 90s cartoon. We'll go Turbo Dogs next. That was on Cubo. Then we have Cow and Chicken here on Cartoon Network, another classic 90s one. And then Wild Kratts to finish was on at PBS Kids. So I think, Matt, you nailed it there.
Yeah.
Yep. And Mike, I think you had two. Yeah. Yep. All right, so that shakes things up a little bit going into our final round. Sitting at the top here, we still have Mike here with 19 total points. Still a pretty big lead, but Matt was able to close it a little bit here with 14 points total, but there's still lots of points to be had here in this last round. This is going to be probably the trickiest one. This is going to be the miscellaneous stuff, game shows, and hodgepodge round here. So let's start off with another true or false here about one of the best game shows in all of TV, besides the one you're watching right now, of course. We got Family Feud, and we know that Family Feud has had a lot of different hosts throughout the show. The current one being Steve Harvey, who's probably my favorite personally, and the original host of the series, Richard Dawson. They have the longest runs of any host on the show, but is it true or false that Steve Harvey in 2023 has now hosted more seasons of Family Feud than Richard Dawson, who was the original? True or false? All right, you guys locked in. So are you guys fans of Family Feud? You guys watch it pretty consistently? All right, Mike, what'd you say here?
I said true.
Said true, yeah.
Both said true, and you guys would absolutely be correct here. Steve Harvey, as of 2023, has hosted for 13 seasons, which is crazy, and Richard Dawson hosted for 9. All right, question number 2 here. This one, again, going to be another game show, more of a reality competition, this one. But one of the biggest just pop culture events with this question, with American Idol here at the centerfold of it. Which American Idol contestant received the highest number of votes for a single episode? Is it A, Carrie Underwood, B, Taylor Hicks, C, Fantasia, or D, Chris Allen? Who had the total amount of votes? Highest.
Well, this is the first one.
Carrie Underwood.
Oh, yeah.
All right, how do you guys feel about American Idol comparably?
All right.
Yeah, kind of wishy-washy there. We'll start with Matt. What'd you put for this one?
Underwood.
Put Carrie?
I
Biggest
also
name.
put a Carrie Underwood.
All right, Matt, why do you think it's Carrie Underwood?
Biggest name, because I mean, I figured it would be like Kelly Clarkson or someone, but yeah, just that's because what was the second one?
Taylor Hicks.
Taylor Hicks, yeah.
Fantasia. Chris Allen.
Those are people that were on the show that no one knows now.
Yeah.
So there you
All
go.
right. You have a similar reasoning, Mike?
Yeah, so Carrie, of course, you know, most well known. Then I thought for a second before you even gave out the answers, it was going to be like Jordan Sparks or like David Archuleta. I know they were very popular when the show was going on. Like I thought maybe they would have it, but seems like I don't really know the other 3 contestants that well, so just went with who I knew.
Well, I will say I picked these people in particular because they all won their respective seasons, but the peak of the show was during season 8, and that is when Chris Allen won, so that is the correct answer. He received 50 million individual votes during the finale of season 8, which they said was more than the presidential election during that time, which was pretty insane.
I've heard that before.
American Idol.
Yeah, American Idol was huge, man. And yet, nobody knew who Chris Allen was, so there you go. Kind of interesting how that works. It gets lost to time there. But that's all right. We'll move on here, pretend like that never happened, going into round number 3, or question number 3, rather. Which of these movies based on TV shows has the highest rating on Rotten Tomatoes? Is it A, the Bob's Burgers movie, B, Veronica Mars, C, the Brady Bunch movie, or D, Impractical Jokers, the movie?
Those all suck ass.
The only one I haven't seen is Veronica Mars, but I like the other three. All right, let's see what you guys wrote.
Oh, D and Practical Joker.
Burgers.
Interesting. Okay, so very different ends of the spectrum. Are you guys familiar with these movies? Have you seen them at all?
Nope.
No,
I didn't even know if Veronica Mars was a movie based
Yeah.
show or whatever. It's
Yeah.
something I learned today.
Interesting. All right. Well, Matt, you said Bob's Burgers movie. So why did you
Yeah,
pick
because
that
that
one?
seems to be the most recent. Because I mean, I don't know. Because Veronica Mars, I never even heard of. Brady Bunch, I feel like that was a bit of a flop in its heyday. I don't know. I feel like the hype for that show was pretty much dead by then. And then Impractical Jokers, I think a lot of people didn't really care for that one either. But the Bob's Burgers movie was really huge when that came out. So,
Okay, so just going off hype and
Okay,
you know
yeah.
the name drops and stuff.
Yeah,
What
so
about you, Mike?
I did know that Bow's Burgers movie was pretty big, but man, those Impractical Joker fanboys, I like to call them, and they will defend anything
Yeah.
that show does. You know, they are some of the most hardcore fans out there. They will defend that show like their life depends on it. So I figured, you know, they dropped a movie. Probably some people who gave it some high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, fair enough. Well, obviously all these shows are absolutely huge for their respective times, but let's go from the bottom up here. Mike, unfortunately, once again, I'm so sorry to tell you this, Impractical Jokers, dead last here, 35%. The only one that is negative. Which a lot of people did not like that. I loved it personally as an Impractical Joker fanboy, but that's okay. Second was the Brady Bunch movie, 63. And we got Veronica Mars at 80, which means Matt here has the correct answer. 88% for Bob's Burgers, which is pretty insane. Yeah.
not a very good movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I liked them all. I actually think the Brady Bunch movie is the best of all these. I think that's a pretty underrated one, but that's cool. All right, question number 4 here, the second to last question of the game. So this is a pivotal moment here. This one is going to talk about documentaries, very underrated genre of TV in my opinion. And one of the biggest documentarians of all time, Ken Burns, who's well known for doing PBS documentaries. So big in fact that there's now a preset on iMovie just called Ken Burns, since he's that influential. And one of his main subjects being history and politics and such, and various wars that have happened throughout history. Which of the following wars has never been a subject of a Ken Burns documentary? Is it A, the Civil War, B, the Vietnam War, C, the Korean War, or D, World War II? Which one has not been the subject? Okay, let's see it.
I put C, the Korean.
Korean War.
Hey, you guys got that one correct. I don't know if it was just dumb luck or you guys are just huge history buffs watching Ken Burns PBS documentaries, but hey, you got it correct. It was the Korean War. Well done, gentlemen. All right, so you can put your markers down because we have entered the final question here, the big boy. Let's take a look at the scores here. As of right now, Mike, you have 21 points. You can go to Vegas. You can live life, bro. You can drink. Very, very happy. Matt, you have 17. You can watch Dreamgirls or Blonde legally. You can watch some NC-17 movies, but you can't sip a Mike's Hard Lemonade. What is the world coming to? There you go. But let me tell you guys are still very, very close because this final question, if you get it right, you can earn yourselves 20 points here. A big, big swing. But up until this point, you guys have been answering questions based on stats, objective facts, and different, statistics and such, but not so much opinion. Unlike this last question where you're gonna test how well you know me. I have a list of 20 different shows that I've talked about in various videos. Recently published a video of all my favorite shows, and all of these were on it here. And obviously, you've been friends for a very long time here. So how well do you know me and my opinions of these shows? In these notebooks, gentlemen, I have them listed out here in alphabetical order just for convenience. Yeah, it's like an SAT test, like a standardized test. Whenever you guys are ready, go ahead and rank them based on how I would rank them all from best to worst here. And for each one you get right, you'll earn yourself a point. Again, you are only 4 points apart. So go ahead, take some time, and we'll see what you said.
This part's gonna be sped up, right, or something?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna put the Jeopardy music over this part.
But I've copyrighted music. That'll get the video taken.
because you don't want yourself embarrassed because you're getting your ass kicked. All right, you guys can take a breather here. Double check, triple checked. All right, you guys are locked in at this point. Okay. All right, before we even go over it, let's feel it out here. What'd you think of the actual list? Were you surprised by any shows on there? Without giving any away, right? Just the variety of it. Yeah.
So I think that he actually put a lot of good variety on stuff that I know he really likes. Stuff that's kind of like in the middle, but like really good still. Stuff that's like kind of smack dab in the middle, and then also some of the bottom of the barrels. So
yeah,
I think that it was kind of a mix of everything.
Did that make it easier or harder, or?
I feel like the first like few, like the stuff at the bottom and the stuff at the top were really easy, but once you start getting to like that middle part, that's when it started getting tricky.
Yeah.
All right. And Matt, what about you?
Same
How
with
did you
that.
feel about
the
that?
bottom ones are definitely easy. I think we all here know what the number one is, and like the lowest one, of course. But then, yeah, a lot of that stuff in the middle, it's like, how is, this show number 10, even though, Nick doesn't like it that much. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, right?
Or whatever.
So. All right, well, you guys have made it a very good long while here to get to this point. Anything can happen in the last round because, like I said, you guys are very tight here. So as we go, again, you'll have your grade yourself. We'll go from the bottom up here, number 20 to number 1. So, gentlemen, by far the worst show on this entire list, my least favorite show of all time, Henry Danger. That was a gimme, come on, because I couldn't let you get 0 here. Number 2 here, well, number 2 from the bottom, number 19. Sam and Cat here with a score of 2.5 from me. Absolutely wretched. Next up after that, we have The Honeymooners at number 18. Number 17 here, our first drama, we got Riverdale. Then at number 16, we have Succession. That's gonna piss some people off there. That's only a 5 from me. Then we got Scrubs just above that there, also at a 5. So that's at number 15, Scrubs. Then BoJack Horseman coming in after that at 14 there, with a 6 out of 10. The Idol, the newest show on this list, at 13 there. I honestly don't think it's that bad. Then we got 2 at 7 here. Mayans MC coming in at number 12. And then a Bizarrevark right above that at 11. So kind of odd how that paired there. And then we get to the top 10 here, which are all 8 and above for me. Number 10, 13 Reasons Why. That's a good show. Number 9 here is Squid Game. There we go. Number 8 here, World Poker Tour. Definitely something specialty for me. I feel like, is it like totally, it's like going off the rails. Number 7 here, Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Another one of these teen sitcoms. Number 6, FBI, 8.5 out of 10, one of my favorites. Just above that, breaking into our top 5, we have Shark Tank here at number 5. Then right above that, Breaking Bad here, coming into the 9 out of 10s. Two Broke Girls just above that at number 3. Taking silver here is Epic Rap Battles of History, 9.5. Then, of course, the gold medal goes to How I Met Your Mother at 10.
Okay, I have one question. So I put BoJack Horseman as NA because I thought you were trying to trick me because you never fucking saw that show.
Oh, I've seen it.
You have, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that messes everything up because Henry Danger is still at the bottom, so that counts, right? Okay.
Yeah,
and
of course.
After that, the rest were still like messed up. But BoJack Horseman was like what? 16, 14. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, well, I got like, what, 3-4 points or some shit? I got like 4 points.
4. So I really cleaned up at the end. I got all the top 4. But like, yeah, so I got How I Met Your Mother, Epic Rap Battles, Two Broke Girls, and Breaking Bad. But then like that middle stuff, it just, like Succession, Scrubs, I got mine's, Squid Game, like all of them were off by like 1 or 2 placements.
Yeah, it was tricky.
So,
it was tough. Yeah.
And then, of course, I got Henry Danger. So I got what? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So 6 total. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, and Matt, you said 4?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we kind of can see how this goes, but Mike, with that epic run of 6 total points at the end, you got it, my friend. 27 points all. Good game, everybody. Matt, you end with 21 here. I had to make it tricky at the end there, but you guys did a great job here throughout the total game. So now to the order of business that we have with these beautiful prizes here. All right, so on to the order of business here. We have these beautiful second prize and first prize here. Hey, we're not on a Mr. Beast budget, but hey, we're trying here. So Matt, so you came in second place, your runner. So open up that beautiful packaging, and oh my gosh, look at that. If only there was a Price is Right bottle.
A complete series right there.
Look at that.
That is fucking awesome.
That is awesome, my friend. And of course, you
show.
can't have good TV without good snacks, so we gotta have some Mr. Beast Feastables there. Yeah, that we now sell at Kroger. Not sponsored, but there you go. Highway to Heaven. Matt, how do you feel about that?
Good show.
Yeah.
Definitely on my pilot list. Haven't watched it yet, so we gotta check that one out soon.
There you go. All right, so Mike, go ahead. Grand prize winner here. What do we got for you? Drum roll, please.
Yeah.
There you go,
So
baby.
look at this. We got
Model it off. Look at that.
Tony
The boss
Soprano.
man. The boss man.
Feeling like a mob boss.
Feeling like I'm a boss. There you go. It'll add to the collection of
Yes,
TVTs.
sir. Love it.
I love it. And then
Man,
your DVD
flight
there.
attendant, of course, Kelly Cuoco. Great, gotta check this one out.
Yeah.
And then,
And then-
of course, look at the Mr. Beast.
Gotta get
Shout out
the
Mr.
Feastables.
Beast.
Hey, you know we've been grinding out here, Mike. You're looking fantastic, but no homo. But but hey, everyone deserves a treat every now and again. You can chill with the Tony Soprano tea, chomping on some Mr. Beast bars,
You know what?
watching Kayla Cuoco.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna put this Tony Soprano t-shirt on. I'm gonna have myself a little gabagool.
Gabagool,
and then I'm
yeah.
gonna finish it off with my Feastables.
There you go, everybody. So, round of applause, everyone. Good job, good game. Gentlemen, you guys did awesome as always. Thanks for being on the channel. What do you guys, anything you want to promote, or, you know, what upcoming projects do you have for the channel?
So yeah, first thing I wanted to add here, just for like what the questions were, I think Nick did an incredible job at picking like very difficult questions, but not too difficult. Like they were really in the range to where you could make an educated guess, especially if you knew these shows. But like, man, they had you thinking.
It was tricky.
It was
yeah.
definitely
I had
tricky.
to throw a few
I like that.
curveballs in there.
I liked the last one where we had to rank, of course, his 20 shows. I think that, you know, definitely tough, but man, it was so enticing seeing us like on our toes each and every question.
Yeah.
And then I guess for my channel, Mike's Talks and Thoughts, I have been putting out tier lists here, characters tier lists, mine's MC videos just concluded here. Been watching a ton of TV. Definitely stay tuned for the end of the year. It's gonna be the biggest video yet for my end of the year recap. So yeah, that's the big video. And then also stay tuned for a plan I have in October as well. So.
Ooh, interesting. All right. I love it. I always look forward to seeing what you guys have cooking up there. Matt, what about you? Any comments on the game or any upcoming videos you got?
Pretty fun, obviously. That last question was definitely awesome. Even though I totally botched it, was still pretty interesting. Yeah, CLP, Cartoon Network Productions, subscribe. We got new content coming out soon. Yeah, a lot of new stuff working on right now. We got like a new video coming out tomorrow, hopefully, as I'm filming this. I don't know when this video is going to go up on the channel, but whatever, it's coming. So, yeah, watch it.
Awesome. All right. Well, and for me, of course, NVG Nick. Got to keep it tapped in here for all the TV content and music content coming soon. I actually didn't even get to show off the Tupac shirt, but hey, there you go. It doesn't compare to the Soprano shirt, though. I should order a second one for me because I love that. I love that design. But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Like and share the video out to someone who loves TV just as much as us. We will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.